We're doing a return, finish up, new hike. We're on the Lewis Hollow Trail. We had done one from the Wilderness Road campground. And we went up and around to Colson, followed it around the south side of the Wilderness Road campground, and came back up to the campground for the day. And I made a comment, I've never been up this part of Lewis Hollow. Now, I have been up Lewis Hollow to the Skylight Cave, but I've never been on this part. So we're going to get another part of the trails in Cumberland Gap checked off. I have done a excuse me, a 5,000 BTU AC unit mount in the back of the van. Go on YouTube and look for AC units in pickup trucks. Give you an idea how it's done. I got that mounted different because it's not square, and I had a piece of crystal clear. That may not be the exact name of it. It's window treatment for up north. You put over your windows as a storm window, and you can still see clear through it. Use that to finish off the upper part, since you can't close the hatch. It's not like a bed topper, truck pickup bed topper. And we used it last night, about froze us out. Set on low, middle temperature setting, about froze us out. Anyway, it opened up the door for summer hikes now. Summer visits. Last time we were here, excuse me, Gina had picked up her disability access card permit. The doctors write you up the proper paper, you get it for free, and your camping is half price per night. So you can stay for 2 nights instead of 1 for the same amount of money. And with the electric, you choose the electric site, plug in your AC unit, the heat don't bother you. Plus here you get fire ring and picnic table. And all the electric ones are black-topped. Some are very level, some are not very level, so be sure and bring spacers to level your vehicle, however you need. I'm in the van, so I run over ramp material on the front wheels. Since you're back in. It's beautiful out here today. There was no moon last night that I know of. It was black. I'm going to give you an example whether you've been there or not. Mammoth Cave. I've been there 2 times. And you get down in the bottom and they turn the lights off. It's so black. You can't even look down and see the nose in front of your face. It was almost that black last night here. I was hoping to get some views and some pictures of the Milky Way, but I had parked in a spot where I didn't need my easy up for shade, which means the trees block the views. The views block the views. Selecting camp areas that have power. I'm still very, very new at this, so I don't know, just being honest. If they say 50, 30, 20, you're good. There's a 50 amp outlet, there's a 30 amp outlet, and 2 regular household plugs. And some of the parks, the 120, the 20 amp ones, the breakers are a little weak and the plugs are a little weak. So I picked up the 30 to 10 male to female plug at Harbor Freight for 10 bucks. And I then got the AC unit, which is only 115. It'll run off your house circuit. But I plugged it into the 30. So I didn't know how good the 120 was, the 20 amp. Went to plug my extension cord in for the TV and fans, and it had a new plug. Good solid plug. But still, not to overload anything, because my extension cord is a 15 footer 16.3. I need to get at least a 14 to a 12.3. But I used what I have, so I hadn't planned on getting this deep into it with AC. I just parked close enough to the power that the AC cord fit. Beautiful. This has been down for a while. Tell you how old the cut is. Most of the dirt's washing off from the rains. See the streaks? I wonder if that's a bear claw digging in that. They do have bear here. I think the average one bear per 1.5 square mile. That's enough to have them in the campground at various times of the day. Look at how beautiful the sky is here. Not many clouds. That means it's beautiful. It's also hot. I want to put out a thank you for my subscribers. Let me rephrase that, for our subscribers. Sweet Gina, Joe, and I, we appreciate it. Notification that we received 5 more subscriptions this month. Thank you to the new subscribers. I hope we're providing what you're looking for. Gina prefers to be in the campground. She can't be out here. She prefers to be in the campground instead of at home on the couch or in her power chair that reclines. This is Thursday. We'll have to be out by noon tomorrow, Friday. And we'll probably do our roaming around then. Today we're just lounging around the campground. If you call hiking lounging around. I don't know exactly what that is, other than it's a death trap. It came off something. That one is part is cocked in there. This one's up here. Eventually these limbs will rot off enough, this thing's going to fall. And it'll fall that side of the tree and it'll be across here. Which makes it a widowmaker. You just don't spend any time underneath of it. Part of hiking, walking in the woods. Spider webs, widowmakers. Just be aware, you look up. And you look around and you look down. This time of the year, you have rattlesnakes and copperheads out and about. Leave them be. They are not good. Spend any time with. They're looking for mice. See, trees don't break off at the bottom very often. They sometimes uproot at the bottom, but usually they break off. That'll eventually weaken enough to fall. It's been there a while. Speed up, Terrence. We should be coming up somewhat soon to a connector to the picnic area. That's where I started my hike on this trail to Skylight Cave. We got a tree down. Got to figure a crossing here. See if they crossed over or they've got a walk around developed. by other people. No walk around, look like there's a step over right here. You always look on the other side. That may be the sunny snake side of the tree. Thank you, William, Smoky Mountain Hiker, for that information. Keeps me safe. Thank you, sir. Looks like we got some more up here down. That was a good spider spot. Nice butterfly. Beautiful over in there. I think this trail is far enough away from the picnic area that you can't see the picnic area, where the connector from the picnic area joins in. And ticks normally hit between the ankles and just above the knee. So watch your grasses. Make sure you don't have any chicaramas on you. Use a hatchet instead of a chainsaw. I'm part of that. Got rid of that spider web. I could see it coming from ways off. Lucky me. I have a right herring enhancer instead of my normal left. I can't find it. It's probably at the house. It's one of my wife's old hearing aids. Rechargeable. I wear it to help my hearing in the woods. Help hear noises that I need to hear for safety. Get a heads up on water. Animals, perhaps bears crawling through the woods. Bears are normally more afraid of you than you are of them, unless it's a mama bear and you happen to end up between her and her cubs. It's not good for any of you, because if mama bear attacks you, they hunt mama bear down, put her down. Because once she's attacked once, she's not safe. They may trap her and take her out someplace else. Absolutely beautiful here in Virginia. Yep, that's where we're at. This trail is in Virginia. It's not in Tennessee, it's not in Kentucky. That's one of the advantages of Cumberland Gap. If you go up to the tri-point, you can hike 3 states in about 10 steps. Just hike around a circle around the brass medallion and hike in Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Or Virginia, Tennessee, and Kentucky, depends upon if you go clockwise or counterclockwise. If you go up the trail a little bit farther, that's the Cumberland Trail, if I remember correctly. And you can walk directly across the tunnel, and you can look down and take pictures of you directly above the tunnel. You go a little bit farther, you go to Farragut Fort. I don't know if it was Union or Confederate that had the fort. It's not a building, it's what it is, a camp where they could have for outlooks. We are definitely stepping into the wilderness if you weren't already in the wilderness. Look how that tree exploded. I think I'm going to stop and get me some agua in me. Since I have the bladder with me, there's no sense in not keeping myself hydrated. Beautiful bird sounds. And here we are. This is where I was before. 2/10 of a mile. Wilderness Road Campground is 0.7 miles. Skylight Cave is 0.4. Ridge Trail was 1 mile. Pinnacle Overlook is 2.9. If you go that way, you go to the campground. Picnic area, 2/10 of a mile. Okay, we just came up this part that I've never been on before. I parked down at the Lewis Hollow picnic area several years ago and hiked up this trail to here, going to the Skylight Cave. We're going to go to the Skylight Cave, and then the Ridge Trail is another 0.6 of a mile. The last time I was here, I was going to go there, but it was overgrown past the walk bridge, and no, I wasn't going to do it. So let's go to the Skylight Cave first. See what we get. See how my energies are. It's one of the things you learn hiking. You learn when your energies are down to 60%, and you turn around and go back. Especially on a trail like this, you burn up a lot going up, but you want to make sure you have plenty of energy to make it back to your vehicle, rest up, and have enough energy to make it back home. You never exceed ability with desire. There are many people with a desire to climb Mount Everest. They went beyond their abilities and didn't make it down to the first camp. So they never got to tell their spouse, their buddies, girlfriends, mom and dads, aunts, uncles, and grandpas and grandmas about their experience. You have to understand that the prime goal in any adventure is to return home safely. I reached a point, I'm going to give you an example. I reached a point I was going to the jump off in the Smokies. I went up the AT to the boulevard, took that couple hundred steps to a couple hundred feet to the start up the jump off trail, and I got to a point where I ran my limit. And thanks to a fellow hiker that I know personally, William, Smoky Mountain hiker, I watched him do the same trail, recognized my turnaround point, and I was 100 foot from the jump off. But I reached my limit and turned around and went back. And I sat in my car for a half hour, trying to get the energy just to drive home from Cumberland Gap parking lot. I had exceeded my limit, and I was within 100 foot. But I made it back to the car, made it back home, made it back to sweet Gina Joe, and I'm here today. In part to the fact I learned to turn around. The goal was to return home, always. Another example, I went to Alum Cave. Been there 3 times, kinda. 2.999 times. I got to a point I was 39 steps. That's how many steps there was on the staircase up into the cave. I sat down, passed out. But I came to on my way down. I was sitting down, so it wasn't a big deal. And looked around, drank half of the water that I had in my bottle, got up, went back to the car. You don't just hike to Alum Cave. You have to hike all around the Alum Cave. It's big. I think the cave is where I'm going to turn around, folks. I'm already starting to have a little bit of trouble. As I rested back there and turned around catching my breath, I got just a touch of dizzy.